What's up, people? We've got some tournament matches that we're going to be running here, so... Kickoff is right about now. Should have our first opponent in a second. Okay, and we're playing against Adler. Oh, whoops, not corn. And we're on Warriors of Chaos and have Nurgle, which is going to be interesting. It's not a bad matchup for Walk. You've got some pretty good Lord options against Nurgle. Pretty versatile roster, so we should be able to find some good options here. Trying to think if I need to be worried about any single entity cheese. It is always a little bit of something that you gotta be careful of, because Nurgle can go with some pretty wicked stuff. They can run Beasts of Nurgle, who can be pretty tough to deal with. Got a lot of healing. They can definitely drag you down and make the game a very, very thorough drubbing if you don't have any adequate preparedness for those guys. But we should be okay in the infantry trade game, provided we don't run into any, as long as we don't get out-traded by, like, Nurgle great weapons, I think we'll be alright. I'm trying to think if there's any infantry that we can mix in here that would be exceptionally effective for dealing with any of that. We do have a couple of options that I might run. While I'm picking, I'm going to swap over and leave y'all to take a little peek at what the bracket looks like. We've actually got quite a few people who have signed up as of late, so it's fairly extensive. We've got top-tier talent as always, you know, like Ulrich is here, we've got Lydon is always a really good player, Big B's has been doing really well, Blake, Bird, and Martinius all here, and then we've got lots of really solid guys like Adam and Corsair, Empire, Iceman. Guys, some of them I haven't seen around in a while. It's actually kind of cool to see Iceman playing. It's been a little while since he's been present. Okay, Adler's taking a little bit of extra time doing admin stuff, so we're gonna just pick in peace and quiet here for a minute and figure out exactly what we want. I'm actually very curious by what we might gain here running this specific Lord. Is this a good idea? He's a little expensive. He's definitely costly. But he does have some really good spells and some decent sustainability in his own right. I think he might be a little too expensive for what we are trying to do here. Decent option. Another really good choice. kind of like this. I actually kind of like this Lord choice. I think this could have some applications here. For something like this, a little bit of durability, a little heavy hitting power for the late game. Probably you run a few of these guys. Maybe just run, maybe even max out on those. Run one of these. Grab this fellow. One here. So, I'm still trying to figure out Warriors of Chaos. They've definitely been a faction that's been giving me a lot of problems in terms of the learning curve. I've struggled a bit with this arrangement of units. I'm just not sure what exactly the right play is with Warriors of Chaos a lot of the time. You know what? Last second swap up, actually. Alright guys, I've actually found something else that we're going to run here, which I think is going to be pretty gnarly for our opponent to have to match up into. Does it look good to me? Looks pretty solid. A little skewed of a build, but definitely not one that I can't play around with some effective micro. Don't think I'm gonna run that. Don't think I need more of those. I've got a few of these guys. Maybe mix one of them in. Maybe just one of them, and big boys. Maybe a bit over expensive. Yeah, one of these up in the sky. That's the right call. Alright, we've got our build. Oh, and what map are we banning? Against Nurgle, I think we ban a Ragnarok. Decrepit Moor, Scalandirs, I'm not super worried about either of those. Ragnarok is actually kind of a small map. It is a split-pushing map, but there's not that many great opportunities for flanks. I'd rather play something, something really big, like Scalandirs, obviously, where I think mobility will be a massive advantage for Warriors of Chaos, obviously. And Decrepit Moor is a fairly safe map, in all honesty. You know, it's got a central objective to fight over, which actually does favor one of our central units here. Swap over now and you can kind of take a peek. Might not be too bad. All the tournaments are while you're at work. Yes, I feel that, dude. I feel it. It's kind of how it's been with me. What's up, Welsh? Gave up on what? Yeah, the Hellstriders are just so... just... way too over centralized as a unit, to be honest. They are an auto-include in every build. I mean, at least 2 Hellstriders is kind of a necessity, honestly. But you can mix your builds up a decent amount around the Hellstriders. Like, auto-include units are in a lot of the different factions. And the Hellstriders are in a much more reasonable state than they were once upon a time, and they were just absolutely broken in every possible regard and respect. So, I think it'll be alright in the long term. We're gonna get the Chimera out first. I've got some Chaos Warrior great weapons if you gotta grind through Chosen or something. I do have Aeson to bully Chosen also, and I can always pepper them with the Javelins, but just in case I need a little bit more heavy infantry, they're here. It's a pretty good map for them as well, because you can just waddle them up to the number 3. Aspiring Champions are going to hang out on that outside objective, and the Marauders are just going to move up with the big monster to get on the number 1. And then we can move the Aspiring Champions over to the number 1 if we need to, or use them to push the number 2 objective. Because Aspiring Champions are just meaty as hell, so kind of hard to get rid of them with shooting. And Nurgle does bring a lot of throwing axes oftentimes, so the Aspiring Champions will be pretty resilient against that with shields. Chimeras, just to keep the Angels of Decay honest in the sky, even if it can't win the fight one-on-one against them. Can still kind of chunk into them, do some nice damage. It's got the flaming attacks, which is always strong against Nurgle, because against all the healing, yeah. Magic damage, of course, against demons, and then some poison, which Nurgle is not really actually resilient to. You know, Nurgle does get messed up by losing weapon strength pretty badly, especially their Lords, and their Lords are actually one of their stronger set of units. Yeah, Kugath is here, got the Noxbringer here. I'm not super surprised to see the Noxbringer. We're going to try and just keep our Javelins back for the time being, because he's going to want to shoot my Jabby boys, obviously, so the less value we provide him there, the better. And our big monsters should be fine. I mean, if he's going to go for this single entity playstyle, then so be it. Kugath is not the most resilient fellow, in all honesty, when you're shooting him to death, so the Noxbringer is kind of his bodyguard and destroys all the ammo on the Javelins. The Javelins are just going to wait until the Noxbringer has used ammo. He's going to have to use it eventually, and we're going to start getting rowdy early. Dodge wherever this shot is going. Get up over here. Let's make sure we cap this first before we move off. He's already missed a few shots, which is nice. And Chimera comes out now. Actually gonna go push this back point. There's that Plague Ogre. Great weapons are rocking up, which is fine by me. Let's get that into not group 6, group 5. Try and dodge here. Oh, he's split firing very nicely there. And see, so here's the thing, like, the Noxbringer is gonna have to stay real close to Kugath. Wants to walk off the point. Good for him. Oh, he's got 1,000,000 Plague Bearers, so the Plague Bearers are gonna start coming out. He's got the Exalted Plague Bearers over here.
Serve the gods! Chaos Marauders! They will succumb!
We're just gonna play some games here. We're gonna run away. I mean, he wants to use that. Cool beans. That's fine. He's gonna shoot. We're gonna dodge because the shots are incoming. We'd like to avoid damage if we can. Hit these guys with the breath attack. We're gonna pull back a little bit. Go over here and bully these guys. Move up over here. And let's just occupy the big boy. And what do we need here? The Blood Beast's a good call. We want to delay this fight. I'd love to be able to use these here to get some damage off. He's gonna get this Chimera down pretty low, I think. We're gonna hit it with the Fleshy, though, which is gonna be really, really effective on it. And it's just going to keep these Plague Bearers occupied for the time being. Go bully. We got him back up in the air, so we need to go get these Plague Bearers over here. Get more Blood Beasts up. They're just going to go rip, run, and roar over all these baddies. See, the Noxbringer has been kept back fairly effectively, so we're actually doing pretty well over here. He used a lot of ammo on those Exalted Plague Bearers, too. So let's get Big Boy over here. Oh yeah, he's got the Rotting Riders coming in. Let's get the Chimera out of here, because we need those breath attacks over this way.
Retreat!
We summoned the Hellstriders a little far back. It's a little unfortunate, but not that big of a deal. Let's get up over here. Let's throw down the fattest Fleshy Abundance of all time right now. We're probably gonna win just with these, with the Mortis Engine here, to be honest. I mean, it's definitely gonna keep him pretty pinned here. Let's go get these guys. Just run down Rotting Riders when you get opportunities. Let's get back. Let's get around the back. Let's get after here. We got the Hellstriders all up in these guys' business right now. Let's get these guys on there. Let's get these guys pushed in. Move up. Forsaken. This is... it's going alright. It's going alright. We heal up our Chimera now. We've got some units that are threatening to break on me, which I'm not loving, but my opponent's army is fairly low. Get in over here and kill these guys. The Plague Ogres have lasted so much longer than I would be liking right now. Let's go get these dudes. Yeah, Hellstriders can get back in over here. Yeah, these guys are running away. We just need to kill the Rotting Riders. If we can get rid of them, then I think we can figure out how to get rid of the rest of this army. ground down most of my opponent's, the rest of my opponent's army. And those, yeah, those aspiring champions just straight up won out there. We've got one more fleshy abundance to drop. He's got Forsaken coming up. Oh my god, and my boy here is getting bodied. Aeson, not doing too hot. Oh my god. Need to heal him up. He might actually end up dead here. Oh my god. If he's dead, I think I might end up losing this game, honestly. I don't know if I can survive this loss, actually. Oh, he's got the route on him. And my Lord's a little trapped up in here now. God, those single entities, dude. They are so punishing. What did my Chimera do? It was not good. Oh no! I don't know if I have the durability for the late game here, because now he's got the Mortis engine, and I'm completely lacking in that respect. He's gonna win. God damn it, dude. You gotta be kidding me. $3,000 value Kha'Zix. Seriously? 3,000 value? What? Oh, I gotta get back to the drawing board on this one. So, Sorcerer Lord, not working. Aeson was fine. Aspiring Champions were really good. Horse Masters, I'm not bringing again in the opener. Blood Beasts were solid. Chimera was mid. Dude, what the hell? I'll probably bring my own Rotting Riders out. Alright. It was going fine until his Plague Bearers really got up on those points, and he got Kha'Zix out, and Kha'Zix just killed all of my characters. I mean, just horrifically bodied them. I mean, he's strong. I just didn't think he was going to do that well. So let's refine that build a little bit. Probably need to swap in a little something. Summoners of Rage, probably not a bad choice there. Because Summoners of Rage can come in fairly early with their Chain Lightning and throw that down on some infantry while they take an engagement against the Rotting Riders, maybe. Horse Masters, I like. I'd probably just keep them in reserve, though. Just, like, the three of them chilling in the back. I enjoyed the Blood Beasts. The Hellstriders were fine. Could always try Kolek, but I don't find Kolek to be all that effective. Sartorial would be another really good Lord option. Final Transmutation is going to do some wicked damage to the options that my opponent was throwing out there. Just really, this guy was damn good. I think I can make him work with Aeson as long as I've got a little bit more anti-large in my army next time. So just doing the Summoners of Rage in reserve and leaving the Chimera off the table. Less great weapons, because I never had a chance to bring those guys in, really. Oh, the spins on Warriors of Chaos, man, I swear, they're really just not that good. It gets really tricky. I would bring a Slaughter Brute. What is a Slaughter Brute gonna do? Nothing important. If Shaggoths had magic attacks, I think I would think about bringing one of them. I think we bring Bad Boy there, get another aspiring champion, and cut the Blood Beast here. We do one Hellstrider for the opening, and I think I have one more mark. No, I don't. Oh yeah, because Aeson counts as one. Okay. What the hell do you do with 700 gold with this faction? Chaos Knight's really not that useful. Maybe the weird spawn aren't a bad call. Sit and fight with the aspiring champions or something. I don't know, man. We'll get around to it. I'll figure it out. Does anybody have any advice for that matchup? Because I have no idea what works. Just go for monstrous units. Yeah, Cavan monstrous infantry. Alright, I'll try that instead, Skull Taker. You know, run circles around the slow faction, why wouldn't I? Oh, and yeah, no worries, Adler. I was gonna bring the Hell Cannon, but, you know, Hell Cannons are kinda dumb. They're a really stupid unit. They're way too efficient. Even the basic ones get you obscene value. The Soul of Damnation, if you keep it alive, is just ridiculously dominant. It just completely takes over games. I'd love to see Warriors of Chaos get some of their units bumped up in terms of efficiency. So it's not just the same, like, Horseman maxing and then Hell Cannon spamming that you see a lot of the time. Because a faction with this many units, already fairly overwhelming to make choices in, you really shouldn't leave, in my opinion, from a design philosophy, so many of them on the low end of the spectrum in terms of effectiveness. Because these mortal units, man, I'm telling you, they just don't perform all that effectively into any of the other Chaos factions. Because they are just too vulnerable to being run off the field by terror routes or just getting afraid. Like, why is a Chosen not immune to fear in any way? Why do they not cause fear, in fact? You know, like, you've got Bearman for, like, you know, a quarter, or, not a quarter, but like a third of the price, almost, of a Chosen. And these guys have ITP and, like, a full, what, 1,000 HP more, 1,020, or 1,120. Crazy business, you know, so Warriors of Chaos are just kind of on the back foot. I hope that the Mortal Infantry get, like, a slight increase to something so that they're not so far behind on the power curve compared to a lot of the other factions. Because really, Warriors of Chaos, you don't really bring any Chaos Warriors ever. Like, ever. Aspiring Champions are your, like, most durable infantry unit that you'll bring, and then you bring a lot of Forsaken. And that's about it. Because Forsaken, you can move around, quick on foot, ITP. 70 leadership isn't great, and the HP pool is a little low, but they're usually going to be able to get away from really bad positions just because they're quick. And it's kind of weird that Warriors of Chaos play so much kite. Like, it's cool that they can do it, but when that's the main focus of their playstyle in multiplayer, I think that there's been a little bit of something lost in translation along the way. Chimera. Okay. Play a full kite style. Alright, yeah, the Chimera obviously was not the way. It was getting bullied really badly, so I'll leave it off next time. Your Kha'Zix just absolutely owned, man. It was disgusting how strong he was. He just hard carried that game. Like, he beat the Chimera, he beat Aeson. By the time I got my Fleshy Abundance off on Aeson at the end there, he was routing. And that was a game set match. If Aeson sticks in there, if I get that heal off second or two earlier, I could probably just move him to the back point and stay away from Kugath. And find ways to trap Kha'Zix for the rest of the game, but since he ran off, I was just going to lose on the back point, and there was no point in dragging it out from there. You'd have probably ended up on my back point, just running me off the field at that stage. Dreadmaw is banned, which is kind of crazy. I was gonna bring a Dreadmaw at one point, actually, but then I saw it was banned, and I was like, alright, fair enough. I really don't think the Dreadmaw is that strong. Like, it's a really efficient monster, but I've never seen it getting, more than, like, double its value for how much, micro you have to input onto it. Like, it's definitely frustrating for specific factions, but I don't know if Nurgle's one of the factions that needs to worry about it. It's usually slow missile factions like Dowie. Dark Elves have a few foot archers that they do like to bring on occasion, but even they're not that worried. Skavens suffer against it. Skaven really badly because of their weapon teams. But outside of really those two, I wouldn't say that the Dreadmaw is something that is so oppressive it needs to get taken out. Unless there's something that people know about it that I just don't, because, you know, I've been playing a decent amount, but I don't think I'm as well-versed on the current meta as I have been in the past. Yeah, the troll maxing is something I've tried out. It works pretty well. The leadership is a little flimsy on the trolls, the only worry. And Nurgle does have a lot of terror. So that's why I didn't go with the troll max. Because I was worried that I might just run into, you know, like a big blob of, like, beasts of Nurgle, and then the trolls would just spend the whole game running away and just shatter. Eventually, leaving me with nothing. Now let's go for this one more time. I do like the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. I might even go for a Stream of Corruption here. Instead of Fleshy, go Rancid for sniping. Just cut Children of Nurgle for the cost. Although I guess it's like 1% heal. Even if all I do is use like 2 Rancids with my WOM and maybe a couple Stream of Corruptions and I'm not getting that much value out of it, it's still something. Don't super need evasion. The extra speed is nice, I guess, though. Something to be considering. Get the Marauders. Get the Horse Masters, get a couple Trolls, and go double Hellstrider and go out really hard in the early stages to cap the points with all the horses. Pull back and let the Marauders get in with the Trolls to push the points. Bring double Aspiring Champion out. Rotting Riders in reserve instead of the Summoners. Maybe even bring Summoners of Rage anyways. I've got a little bit more here in terms of marks that I can throw up. I really love Blood Beasts. Dude, Blood Beasts are one of my favorite units. You'll see me playing with them next game. With Khorne, probably. Alright, we're against Rogue AI, which is cool. And we're playing on Khorne this round, so my main faction, which I should have a slightly better time on. So let me get a lobby up real quick. What are the maps? He's banning the map and we're picking, so we need to just keep an eye out for what they are. Maelstrom, Bray Valley, and Celestial Lake. Probably banning Bray Valley, because, you know, I wouldn't say that either faction on the ground has a huge leg up there. Although, you do have Senegors of Tzeentch that you need to worry about, and they do have, Woodsmen. There's a lot of forest cover on that map, so... probably stay away from that. What the hell is this? Why are there, like... Alright, that's cool, but as much as I like that these have been added, maybe they can be a drop-down menu, because this is getting a little bit bloated. That's a lot of variations. I'd like to see them, though. I'm sure they look great. So we've got Maelstrom Band... fighting Tzeentch on Celestial Lake, is that a good idea? They've got a few things they can do to kind of get up on points and just grind through you. So maybe we do play Bray Valley. Celestial Lake is just such a sit on the middle objective and grind your opponent down kind of a map. I'd really like to play something a little... though surely I'd be in a better spot if we just play this one. Are we gonna play Lake, or are we gonna play... let's play Bray Valley. You know what? I want to play something different. This is probably going to be a big mistake in terms of map choice, but... you've got pretty good lords to run around on this map at the very least. Who do we want to run? I think we need to go Valkia. The Exalted Bloodthirster is fun, but this guy I don't think is going to do too well into Tzeentch, honestly. I'm going to bring y'all over. I'm going to go pick in silence for a minute. Not really silence, but in peace. Away from eyes. Figure out what it is that I'm going to be running, and then I'll get right back to you. Oh my god, this is a... Alright, this is a build of all time. Oh man. Am I really gonna do this? I guess I am. Coming down to the end here on funds, and I'm trying to figure out what the last couple of choices need to be for me. I feel fairly confident with this build. There's one particular unit in here that I am very uncertain about, though, and it could just get me hard punished. So yeah, Bird lost last round. Very unfortunate. Any upsets? Not really. Bees, Martin, Blake, Ulrich, Lidden, all with 1 win. Doing a pretty good job putting themselves in a nice opening position for the bracket. Getting that round 1 win is so big because if you drop your first game, it's really hard to start getting good op points, because oftentimes, you know, depending on how it shakes out in round 2, you can end up matched against somebody who might be trying out new factions, or just playing around a little bit, and they don't get you nearly enough, even if you get the next 3 games won, to get you back up into the top 4. Alright, AI's ready, so let's swap over. Let's get this one going. Alright. Bear with me, guys. I know you see him. We brought the Bloodthirster. He's gonna get his ass kicked, probably, and we're gonna lose, because if he gets his ass kicked, he costs like $1 bazillion. But you know what? We lost in round 1, so we're going for funsies. We're gonna take this a little bit less seriously than I otherwise might. Do we want to play this high ground objective? My opponent can get into the trees, but the Hellforged Bellowers can always just save ammo. We'll find a time to actually use it to shoot down some of his infantry or whatever he's got. Hellforged Bellowers is stupidly versatile in this matchup because it can also pop shields on Changebringers. And if you pop the Changebringer shield and a Fury gets on him for even half a second, it's basically GG for that unit. We just kind of leave it to open up here and get the Skull Reapers into the forest if we need to on this side, or maybe we just content ourselves with pushing the 2 objectives here at the start, and then we can worry about opening up onto the number 1 if need be. Make sure I'm swapped over. Okay, we're good. I'm actually gonna leave this to sit in that tree line for a second. Push. Oh yeah, Shrieking Sky Rays and Knights of Immolation. Oh, Kairos and a Soul Grinder? Okay. It's a full kite build, so we need to be kind of careful here. Let's actually just sit in the trees. Stay up here, move over here. Knights of Immolation are going to be really annoying. We've got Blood Beasts. I think the Blood Beasts are going to be the right call here as our first summons. I'm gonna sit in the trees. Okay. Let's go see if we can punch Kairos in the face, actually. Yeah, he wants to hammer these guys here, which is fine. Over here, we got our points. That's nice. Let's get over there. Let's have the Bellowers hanging out back here. Just trying to shoot me here. He's taking a little bit of damage. Maybe we can find a way to catch some of these guys back there. Oh, and he's bringing in the followers of the Great Eagle, which is really cool. It's pretty awesome, actually. Let's get over here and just make sure that the chariots don't get a ton of value. We get a nice little engagement. Let's go punch Kairos in the face. Let's actually hang out here with our Furies. Don't have anything that great to really like punish some of this stuff, so it's a nice shot. Let's get away from here. Yeah, because here comes the Soul Grinder. It wants to shoot me. Get more Blood Beasts up. We get a nice little smack in the face. We're going to use the Marauders here to kind of screen some. Get the Furies positioned here. Let's actually see. He's not going to go for it. Get another Blood Beast out. A bit of damage on the Skull Reapers. Let's move this Skull Reaper over and this Marauder can hang out here. Let's get our third Blood Beast up. Is he really gonna try and flank over here? Clock is ticking for him. It's going to take him a little bit of time to actually get anything done. Breaking down Marauders is nice, but it's not going to go that far for him. He needs to be careful about coming over here. Oh, Synagor's coming over here. Oh, he wants to get the snare here. Okay, got it. That's a big mistake on my part. Definitely don't love that. Definitely gonna take a lot of damage, but we can fly away in a minute, I hope. don't really get an opportunity to do much of anything. We got a nice little jump on these guys here. Our horsemen are kind of fighting. Run away. Get out here. Move here. Get over here. We're grinding down the Cynagors out on that flank. These Cynagors here taking a lot of damage. Just move over here. If we lose out with one Blood Beast, that's fine. Because we got a Cynagor out of this engagement over here, which really is not bad at all. And my Blood Beast can actually beat the crap out of the Knight's Immolation. We got a huge one there. Let's get back here. Let's actually have the Furies go chase those guys down. Got a big win up there. Furies are harassing. It's actually, I think he's gonna make a mistake with this chariot too. Yeah, the double Blood Beast, dude. I mean, they are just rock solid units. They hit so freaking hard. Send our boy over here and get some of our infantry forward to just kind of buffer some damage and attack. It's double Forsaken. Let's just have the Blood Beast finish the Cynagor off. It should be doable for them. Even though they're a little beat up, they've got pretty good attack stats. Keep engaging. Push, 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 push. What's going on here? What the hell is going on with that Cynagor? It's fine. Fighting the Forsaken and doing okay. Let's get away from here before we get netted. Let's attack. Get these guys to push down here on this Forsaken unit. Kill those dudes. Followers of the Great Eagle are beating up on me a little bit. I think we can have this guy here do some work against them. Let's actually get my lord over here to try and kill that. Let's get away from here. That's the Changebringers, so we'll save up for another Fury to go fly after those guys. And yeah, look at that Blood Beast value. 1200, 14, really nice. Blood Beasts are doing good damage. That is a nice little Vortex. It's going to do some good work against me, but it's really not going to be that ruinous. I guess Chariots are actually a little trapped right now, to be honest. He hasn't killed the, whatchamacallit, Hellforge Bellowers. It's actually doing alright. And yeah, he's got the Changebringers up, but here comes another Fury. The Furies here actually killed the Followers of the Great Eagle because they were able to trap it, and then the Skull Reapers ripped the Chariots apart. So they actually bullied a few of my units, but nothing too serious. I don't need to save that. I'll just send it off here. A little bit of a funky game, to be honest. I got like no value out of my lord hardly. And to be honest, I didn't really get great value out of about anything. We just destroyed the Knights of Immolation with our Blood Beasts. Was the big win. And then my Furies got respectable value. And he got crowded out by all my infantry. Like, the Horsemen, you can see, paid for themselves. And the Soul Grinder was doing fairly decently, but he lost the Shrieking Skyrays pretty quickly. Kairos got jumped on. The Cynagors didn't do all that hot. Followers of the Great Eagle were fine until they got dove by the Furies, and then the Fury models, man, they've got 250 mass. Against these Chariots with 60 models, these Chariots are 1500 mass. Like 3 or 4 Furies floating in front of one Chariot model completely lock it in place. And with the good stats from those Skull Reapers, as well as the good melee attack from Furies, they were able to all find enough value together to pull these things down. So, Bloodthirster, honestly, the Bloodthirster did work out for me in one particular way. I was actually thinking, what if my opponent goes for Lord Sniping as his primary means of trying to push me off the field? Because Khorne is a little vulnerable without their characters. Especially if their lords die, you know, like Valkia or Arbol or somebody who doesn't have that much HP gets caught by something like the Gaze. What is it called? Gaze of Fate? I don't know what I'm doing here. Here it is. Yeah, Kairos, and how long does it last? 13 seconds or something? 14 seconds. So, you can run Valkia, and she can get hit by Gaze of Fate and get locked down. You can use Demon Shield through it, which can help keep you alive. But if Kairos has Staff of Tomorrow, he just pops this after Gaze of Fate wears off, and then he immediately uses it again. And then you're locked down for another 14 seconds, and then Valkia's like 5,400 HP, or 5,600, can just fall apart on you completely. The Exalted Bloodthirster, yeah, he doesn't have any Demon Shield, excuse me, to nullify damage, but he does have 8,500 HP. And if you just play with your Furies and your Blood Beasts reasonably close to him, you can usually find a way to keep this guy alive by, like, chasing back the Horsemen, occupying Soul Grinders, Furies flying around and getting after, like, Shrieking Skyrays, Knight's Immolation, Changebringers, all of those guys that might want to shoot him, and they can get, like, maybe one good volley off on him. And against a lord like Valkia, that could be enough to actually kill her. Or get her low enough that she's vulnerable to just future chips of damage from those other sources and targets. And then just running off the field, and you can get into a really bad spot with your leadership being so poor. And the Bloodthirster just makes for a little bit harder of a target to snipe overall. In some ways, he's a little bit more manageable to take down. But specifically for the anti-snipe stuff, as long as your opponent doesn't just have some, like, wickedly powerful duelist type of characters, the Exalted Bloodthirster is the better way to go. Valkia, ironically, is better against better combat characters, because she trades upwards into them so well, and Demon Shield is just such a good tool for avoiding that damage. And you can bait people really hard with her because they want to try and bully her. You can, like, fly around, drag a Bale Taurus Lord to the ground or something, for example. And then surround them with, like, Minotaurs or Blood Beasts and just kill them. Bloodthirster Lord actually loses out a little bit when he has to be up in the face of some really strong combat characters, because he's quite costly. Like, the matchups where I found the Exalted Bloodthirster to work at his best is where he's just flying around and rear charging stuff to get the terror routes. You drop, like, a Burning Rage, and then you can use Deathbringer for, like, decisive engagements. And that's where he can do pretty well. Otherwise, you know, he's one of the lower tier options. He's not as bad as the Chaos Lord or the Demon Prince, who are just absolutely atrocious Dogwater Lord options. But he is just, like, the middest of all mid-lords on the Khorne roster. Like, obviously, Skulltaker is the best, Valkia is really strong, Arbal's not too far behind her, Herald has a few matchups where, Tormentor Sword and, Locus of Wrath can be a really nice upgrade as support tools for your army over Skulltaker, so even he has a niche. Bloodspeaker I don't find to be very good. He's probably just a little bit above the Bloodthirster, though. At least he's got some abilities, and he's, like, dirt cheap on his horse. Like, put him on the horse, give him Icon, Wild Abandon, and Pilgrimage, which I actually think this is the superior method of using him. I think Blood Sacrifice makes him too difficult to use, because takes a bunch of HP out of him. If you want to use it and not kill him, then you need to use a Blood Reaper with Locust. which can work, but that's just like more price for your lord, and you're trying to keep it manageable, so you can like fill out on the rest of your army. And Wild Abandon is a great ability, and Pilgrimage is also pretty decent. It's an unbreakable AoE. For 21 seconds, you can get a lot of mileage out of this if you use it right. Murderous Exhortations is actually just straight up garbage. I've tried using this, and I've tested it a lot. It gets you maybe 200 value with each cast, and that is not worth it, really. For 3 uses, you get maybe 600 value out of all 3 of them. And that's being generous, because he has to actually run into range of a bunch of scary units to use this, and he has to stay there at that point. It's only useful if he's on the War Shrine, to just pop if a bunch of, like, anti-large units are trying to surround and kill him on this thing. Does the Exalted Blood... let me go back and check. I don't know if he does or not. I think Kairos may be a little bit less meaty. But it is really close. Where's he? There it is. Yeah, Exalted Bloodthirster has 500 more HP, but when you're factoring in Barrier, really, Kairos has a lot more. Because Kairos has a 1200 HP Barrier. If Kairos stays and tries to fight the Exalted Bloodthirster, though, he's going to get absolutely rolled, because Kairos is genuinely one of the worst combat characters in the game. Especially for how expensive he is. You bring Kairos for the fact that he can just cast endlessly, basically. You can use, like, Scroll of Destiny and keeps life leeching, and get some pretty massive rebates on your magic usage. Because life leeching always gives you 2.5 WOM back. If you're spell spamming with Kairos, you can go Harmonic Convergence and Blue Fire, and you're really spending about you're spending 2.5 Winds of Magic on Harmonic. Blue Fire 3.5. You can use these just endlessly, especially with the extra WOM from Scroll, which I think is actually pretty decent for him. Because you don't really ever want to use Kairos in any kind of actual fight. He's got okay weapon strength, but his melee defense at 20 is awful. And then 35 melee attack, he's barely ever hitting anything to begin with. You use him to, like, tear out stuff, too. Firestorm is okay. So you can, like, run that. And Oracle of Eternity is actually worth leaving on him, because it's just a huge damage resistance buff. I mean, 44% is pretty disgusting. He really needs it, because of his obvious vulnerabilities in melee, but then also, once you get through this barrier and you're hitting his HP, he's only got 50 armor. You know, the Phys Res is nice, but no missile resistance or anything. He can get chunked down pretty badly by skirmishers and missile units. So Oracles is just there if you end up in a bad spot and need him to just survive like a volley or two. I think Sartorial has 9,000 HP. Oh, no, he doesn't. He's only got 8,000 too. Alright. Yeah, Scarbrand is the beefiest of all the Khorne Lords. The only reason I don't bring him into Tzeentch is because he's on foot. And you do really want to have a Flying Lord for dealing with Changebringers, otherwise you're relying on like a Bloodthirster or something, which is never a good call, because these things are kind of terrible. He's got the Rampage that can pull stuff to the ground, but you do not want Changebringers shooting Scarbrand while he's trying to run underneath them. He'll just get melted. They can take, like, close to 2,000 HP off of him with one volley. Cheese Cutter and Elidon are finishing up, and then see what we can do. we'll swap it over. You can take a look at the bracket. Or really, the bracket results. You got Martinius, Blake, Big B's, Ulrich, and Adler at the top here. Adler doing his job, getting us the wins. So our Swiss points, you know, not looking incredible, obviously, but comparatively decent. We'll see who we get for this next round. Just need to see if Cheese Cutter is going to be able to upset Lydon. That would be a pretty huge win, honestly. So I don't think I've seen Cheese Cutter play ever before. I don't even know what their main faction is. Oh, never mind. I've seen this person play. It's Chimney Sweep. They changed their name. They get banned and they're trying to sneak in. It's kind of weird. I don't know why people feel the need to try and sneak back in when they get banned. I mean, like, there's really pretty low expectations, to be quite frank, for what's acceptable. Like, you just have to, you don't get salty at people and trash talk and don't cheat. I mean, it's really not that hard to avoid doing. But some people seemingly cannot help themselves sometimes. Alright, who's our opponent? Oh, we got Pont. We're on Walk, so Pont and I have played a lot of games in the Dark Elf Corn matchup. So I'm fairly experienced with his typical methods. He does bring pretty varied builds, though. And if he's on something other than Dark Elves, I'm just completely piloting in the dark. See if we can finally get a win with Warriors of Chaos here. Okay, he is on Dark Elves. Alright, well, we've got a pretty easy double whammy of an opener with the Aspiring Champions at the very least. What Lord are we going to be running here, though, is the big question. Archie is definitely a pretty good option against the Dark Elves, because he's just got such good spell choices here. Not Flaming Sword, I don't know why I'm selecting that. Burning Head and Searing Doom, I mean, you Burning Head down Shades or Dark Shards, or even the what are they called? The Repeater Crossbows, the Dark Rider Repeater Crossbow Calf. If you can hit them with an Overcast Burning Head, you can do some pretty great damage to them. Searing Doom for Cold One Knights. Spirit Leech isn't a bad choice into Dark Elves either. Sometimes they run fairly vulnerable lords. We could run into Malekith, though. he can give Archeon a run for his money for sure, so we're going to need to be a little bit careful and discerning about what we do here. I might hold off on Archeon and go with somebody else instead. You do have Sartorial. He's got Searing Doom, which is the big one. Because the Cold One Knights are the real irritating unit in this matchup for you. We're gonna run our boy here. Yeah, I've been liking him a lot. I think I'm probably gonna stick with this guy and try and figure out how to use him to the maximum extent. You happy with this? I think it's a fairly good build into the Dark Elves. Some good mobility, a little bit of punching power here, holding power, a lot of swarming elements. Alright, I'm happy with my build, so let me actually take a peek at the maps real quick, and we can get our bands going for those. All three of the maps are like fairly similar, except for Tomb, which is a little bit, it's a little bit different than the split pushing bigger maps that Proving Grounds and Oil Fields are. I'm honestly pretty happy with any of these three. Probably ban Oil Fields. Other two are a lot easier for me to actually handle things on. Alright, we're playing Proving Grounds. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ready up. Hey, let's go. Alright, here we are. So you can see the opener. You know, I went with some, oh wait, Dreadmaul's banned, I forgot. I completely forgot about that. Literally was talking about it earlier. Yeah, it would have been really frustrating for his build. Alright, well... Oh, wrong one. So those guys stay in, and we're getting another aspiring champion. It's a little bit awkward, but it's not that big of a adjustment. I could run, you know, Chimera, but... Or not the Chimera, the Cockatrice. That'd be a fun unit to throw out, but the Aspiring Champion was something I was thinking about having in my army anyways, and cutting the Dreadmaw to begin with. So, with the Dreadmaw being banned, Aspiring Champion is just the easiest one to throw out. And the Champs are just a great unit anyways. And Pawn obviously brought all those Harganeth Executioners because he was expecting a bunch of these guys anyways. So he's going to be looking for some kind of an opportunity to kind of jump down my throat with those guys. These guys are going to hold out on this flank. And we'll send an Aspiring Champ over with them. And 2 Aspiring Champions are going to push the number 3 objective. Give These guys as close to the line as possible. Everybody here can chill and get ready. We do have a Hell Cannon. Going a little sweaty. I really want to get the dub here. Love to be able to make it into the top 4. Give you all a longer show. If we get knocked out, though, and we don't end up in top 4, then I can do some of the replays from the new player tournament on Saturday. Truly wouldn't be bad at all. You know, the matches were really exciting from that tournament. So Dark Sorceress is on her dragon. We've got a very durable lord, so we don't need to worry about that too much right now. The Dark Shards are there, a lot of Dread Spears, 3 of those. Don't know where the other 2 Hargoneths are. Probably in the forest here. What do I want up first? Since it's a dragon, I actually don't want to bring the Hell Cannon out just yet. Trolls are a little vulnerable here as well. Nor do I really want the Marauder Horsemen. Maybe we go for, maybe we go with Forsaken, actually. I can get these guys moving in. These guys are gonna chill here. It's Bleak Swords and more magic. He's got a lot of Blade Wind available to him, actually. Let's move forward. Let's do another Forsaken now. Now these guys are gonna actually move up into the tree line here. Let's get away. Oh, watch this. Wait. No. Do that first. A little bit of a whoopsie there, but not that big of a deal. Let's get around the flank here and attack this side. That fight's not going to be amazing for me, but it's not going to be terrible. The Hargoneth Executioners are actually doing a lot of damage to themselves right now. Let's actually pop this here. Debuff these guys. They'll get tired out, and then I can throw in my important units for winning that actual, like, hardcore engagement we've got going on over here. Okay, he's gonna run away there. Push around here, have these guys engage here. Let's pull back a little bit. We got a fight going on over here that we need to actually help out, and we got the trolls coming. What is this, Doombolt? Oh, it is Doombolt. He's going double Doombolt? Really, bro? Come on. He's just going, like, max Doombolt. I actually dodged it, though, which is kind of awesome. He's going character sniping, which I guess I shouldn't be too surprised at. It's a really nice breath attack. Oof. Really nice breath attack. Really chunked my guys down pretty badly there. Let's get away. Let's get out of here. Rally back here. We're winning over there. It's not that bad. Let's get our Doom Knights over. Let's get another troll out. Actually doesn't really have anything too great against the trolls. Did rout me. Let's get these guys. Let's get over here. Unsummon these dudes. Decent enough. Drop in, get over here, attack here. Need to make sure that the trolls stay on the move so that they're away from this dragon, because the dragon's just going to kill them. Like, they're not going to be able to win that fight. His breath attack actually did quite a bit of damage to him. Let's see if we can get in the trees and away from that. Let's get the Hellstriders out. They can start bullying a little bit.
Forward! All will be despoiled. Slaves to darkness.
Oh, God. Terror routes, dude. Just a million terror routes coming down on all my stuff.
Hell Striders of slaughter!
That's no fun. That's kinda horrible for me. Let's go to the middle. Fly over to the top. Let's get the charge here. Bounce out here.
Drinking purge!
That's a really nice blade one, dude. Dude, this pot build's kind of gnarly. It's actually pretty cool. Oh, that Stream of Corruption was fat, though. That got a lot of value for me.
Attack the mortals!
We need to just drag down these cold ones. Hold my points.
By God's call!
Get another Hellstrider out.
The pact requires it.
I got some stuff rallying here. Not that's gonna be doing a whole lot, to be honest, though. He gets a breath attack that doesn't really do much of anything for him. It's another breath attack. Also not doing a terribly great job of getting value for him. Just fly over here. Let's run away from here. Let's run over here. Let's look to get his skirmishers that he's got coming up.
King Slaaneish's embrace. Army of the dark gods.
Caster just needs to hide. I think we do bring this up, because it's going to get me some value by beating up on these characters. You guys need to go back. Turn around and try and get these trolls freed.
On the hunt!
Taking a lot of damage. Let's try and start wearing down the dragons. The blade winds have been really good. They've done a lot of work for them. Oh, God. Not loving it. Not loving this at all. You know, the double black dragon is definitely kind of terrifying. It's doing a lot of work against my units here. Let's kill these guys. Horse Masters need to get away. I don't know how they didn't break the leadership on that unit, but apparently they didn't, so now they're struggling a little bit.
Attack! Siege's many glories. Yes!
Dragon's gonna land here. Let's see what we can do against that. Just hold our ground and fight here. To kill all these guys, let's fly over there and attack. Summon all these guys. See if we can get some Chaos Warriors out or something. We killed one of his skirmishers over there. The Hellstriders are hanging in and doing what they can against those Doomfire Warlocks.
The pangs of suffering!
Push my Lord through. We can't quite make it through.
To the next victory!
Let's make sure these guys get completely shut down. Let's run those guys off.
Very well! No! Faster!
Let's run them down. Let's hide. Trolls can go chill over here. Let's get an Aspiring Champion to go reinforce that point. These dragons are just going to continue to be a huge problem. Need you guys to actually run away. Let's go attack here.
Yes, Lord! Get them! Bring us to carnage!
Alright, they're really beat up. We just need to focus on holding the number 2 objective there. There's another Doomfire Warlock coming out. We're gonna have the Knight's Immolation dive here. He wants to run these guys off the field. Understandable.
Faster!
Lord's doing pretty good. Black Dragon intercepts. We'll just have the Knights of Immolation fight it out here. I mean, they're gonna die in a minute, but they're gonna get a little bit of value over here. I got 2,000, which is acceptable. Let's run over here. Go over there. I should hit these guys with that. Actually hit them square on the face, which is awesome. Hell Cannon did a bunch of friendly fire to my trolls. Oh, we gotta get away from the Doomfire Warlocks who are chasing me. Run, run, run. Chase, chase, chase. He's dropping another Doom Bolt, which, you know, it's causing me some problems. We're gonna get a Forsaken out of here now, just to make sure that these Doomfires can't push through and kill my stuff. Dude, the Doom Bolt spam is ridiculous. I'm so sorry. I hate that spell so much. Like, it has not been toned down hardly at all from the point that it was at, which was already nigh on just absolutely unacceptable in terms of its power level. So, I don't know, man. It's really frustrating to run into. Hargonath Executioners are close to going down. The Aspiring Champions are still grinding. My Lord is still hiding. It's time to get out Hellstriders again. Make sure that we hold on to this point. Getting some nice value. And my opponent is just not doing anything about this Hell Cannon currently, which is awesome. Please continue not doing anything about it. These guys need to get unsummoned. We need to go save these dudes. I'm gonna actually pop this on those guys. Got a nice breath attack on the Hell Cannon, but it's still alive and it's still shooting. Actually ended up breaking him on this point and saved our guys, which is kind of huge. Fighting here. Yeah, this is gonna do some okay damage at the very least. It hits a bunch of his units, so that's always pretty nice. And we're gonna keep popping the debuff here. Let's pull this one out and get in here. Charge here. Go out here. Hopefully we break these Dread Spears. We're in a little bit of a tricky spot. We'll pull back. We'll get a Forsaken up. Push the number 1. We saved our number 3, which is awesome. Got these trolls back here that can kind of help run over some of these Hargonath Executioners. Just to hit and run those guys. Saving that point was massive. We should be able to break this one open in a second. Now, the durability on my boy here has been awesome. He's gonna run away. We're gonna get another Hellstrider up, because why wouldn't you spam Hellstriders? They're just too cost effective, man. The trolls died back here, but they get value-wise. It's fine. It's really not that great. Those were okay. This thing is dead, so we'll unsummon it. Get a little bit of money back for it at least.
A dark bargain. Hellstriders! Slay
Okay, he's like cleaned this point up ostensibly. Have these guys running underneath. Let's get the Forsaken off, and they're gonna go attack the Hargoneths off the point. I'm gonna gotta slow walk that point there. Cap this point. Just dodge away from the dragon. Yeah, like the Black Dragons have done some pretty good work for my opponent. Get away from the Blade Wind as best we can, I guess. Now we attack the dragon. We have the Forsaken pop out to try and hit him in the face. And we just try and, you know, desperately cling to whatever points we can hang on to. Some okay damage out there. Oh. Crazy close game, dude. Especially on the value trades. We managed to stay just far enough ahead of them, though, to grind that game out. Knights were great. Aspiring Champions, not so much. Marauders didn't do much. 69 kills, nice. Chaos Sorcerer Lord got 1100. I would have gathered, though, that he actually did a little bit more with the Curse of the Lepers. They did actually help me win a couple of those fights, for sure. Hellstriders are disgusting. What, I mean, great value out of them. Hell Cannon was on its way, but it did die. Horsemasters were excellent. And one of the trolls was acceptable, the other one a little less good. That game would have been a lot easier with the Dreadmaw, for sure, but, you know, it's banned, so I had to run the triple Aspiring Champions, which is a little too much to spend on those guys, honestly. If I were to go back around and rebuild that army, I'd probably include the two. Probably just 2 Marauders, and I mix in a, like a Chaos Knight or something. Not Festus. I did like the Nurgle Magic, though. I think I've got enough for, yeah, the Swords of Chaos. So I got 1,600 gold. Chaos Armored Troll. Double Trolls out the gate. Just up that the Marauders. What about the Trolls? Yeah, I can do like 1 veterancy on them. Don't think chevrons and trolls definitely not like the best thing in the world, but I mean, why not? It's not like I can spend the money on anything else, really. It's really nothing that important that I need to mix in. It'd be nice to have 10 gold to get Filth Mace, but what are you gonna do? Guess I could... Nah, the Mirror Guard not going to be that good. Demon Spew are also not that great. Knights of the Brazen Throne maybe in another lifetime. Do double Chaos Spawn. Instead of the Trolls, the Chaos Spawn might be a good choice. Spawner at least Unbreakable. Sorry about that, Adler. All right. It's our make or break game. We got Daceberg here. So Corn into whatever he's playing. We're on the outside looking in a little bit in terms of the 2-win players. Our op points are fine, but Lidden, Adler, and Pizu are all in front of us, and then Blake also has 6 op points at 2 wins. That's what we're looking at here. So it's going to be a little bit hard to get into the top 4. Could end up on the outside looking in, but I believe in Pont getting another win, and AI, come on. You got this, bro. I believe in you. Oh no, but they're playing one another. Oh my god. Devastating. Might actually be enough to keep me out. Yeah, it is the Rowan. Okay. So we're on Corn again. I love the double faction tournaments. I think it's a good mix-up. And I didn't know Daceberg was in the same little clan as Pont. It's been cool to see a couple of new ones popping up. For a long time, it's been Rat and RTK that you see everywhere. But now we got a nice secret third clan. Why not Warrior instead of the Champions? Champions have bazillion armor. They have a silver shield. And they've got really good stats, and they have a disgusting amount of HP on very few models with full cap weight. So they're just way more survivable and have a lot more utility. That's why I bring them instead of Warriors. Not that Chaos Warriors are abysmal, they're just a little lackluster is the problem with them. Like, if Chaos Warriors were all as effective as the Khorne Chaos Warriors, you'd see me bring them every game, but they're just not. The Frenzy on the Khorne Chaos Warriors hard carries these guys in terms of efficiency. They get ITP, so they don't run away very easily. They have pretty amazing melee attack at 46. Like, they can punch just about anything, unless it's something, like, way outside their, you know, class weight. The regular Chaos Warriors just look really wimpy in comparison. Like, they've got better melee defense, but it's only 5 more melee defense, and 10 more melee attack is something I'd take any day of the week. Not to mention the spell resistance, and like I said, ITP from Frenzy. If Khorne had their own Aspiring Champions variant, that would be pretty sick. Like, I mean, I guess they do with Wrathmongers. Like, but on a technicality, they're a little bit of a different type of unit, but broadly speaking similar. They're just not really defensive at all. But if Khorne had, like, axe and board marked aspiring champions, I would bring those guys over Chaos Warriors easy. Even the Khorne variant. And, you don't bring Khorne Chaos Warriors for Warriors of Chaos because you need Hellstriders. Because Hellstriders cover up a lot of the weaknesses of that faction. And that's my really quick rundown, Cham, of the situation there. Who's Daceberg playing this round? Oh, oh my god, he's on Empire for this game? Oh, Christ. Please. No, not like this. I think I can survive this, though. I've got a decent amount of practice in this matchup. So let's do our map ban real quick, and then we'll worry about what we need to do from there. So I'm banning, and we've got Lustrian Narrows, Terracotta Graveyard, and Putrefying Carcass. I'd love to fight on Putrefying Carcass. Or, is Narrows a good map for me? It's okay. Oh, Terracotta Graveyard might be a good map for me to play on. I'm remembering it now. Let's ban Lustrian Narrows. So the reason I'm banning Narrows over Terracotta is Terracotta has forests like right by the objectives. And Lustrian Narrows, it's got trees, and it's got some trees close to points, but most of the middle of the field is just wide open, so it's very hard to position effectively on that map to avoid shooting and control objectives. Terracotta Graveyard and Putrefying Carcass have awesome positions to just sit on and make your opponent's life miserable. Absolutely miserable, so we're going to go for that. And he wants to play Putrefying Carcass, which is kind of interesting. We'll see how that goes for him. I'm curious if he's got some kind of secret sauce on this map that I don't know of. It's going to get me into trouble. I think we'll be alright. Alright, guys. Let me give you the lay of the land for the tournament points while I pick. I've got a pretty set build here. I don't think I'm going to deviate too much from it. Might be a little bit different because of the specific map. But otherwise, shouldn't be anything too crazy different. Probably cut one of those and grab. What do we grab? Ooh, you know what? Early on, yeah, actually a pretty good unit to have in the back pocket. This map has some open ground. It's also got some trees, but I think we do favor this unit because of the cost efficiency. Get another one of them. Good. Good. I like this. Grab one of these little guys. They're always really nice, sneaky, and irritating to throw around. That's memeing too hard. That would be a terrible idea. I'm not bringing that unit. I would be throwing if I did. Actually cut them. One of you and one of you? Nah, not gonna be a good choice. Much better choice here. Maybe cut this. And slip in another one of these guys. This is going to be a good unit on this map. Could actually be a little too heavy into that. Okay. Alright, last little bit in terms of the spend, and now I'm feeling fairly confident. It's going to be a tough matchup. Empire's always been tough for Khorne. Gonna have to play very, very cautiously here. Love to go more than 50% in terms of wins, though. Sweet. Why is it so zoomed out here? What is it on? Oh, it's on this gigantic, what the hell is this? Yeah, whatever the hell that is. Camera's sitting up on top of it. I don't have the debug camera on. If you have the debug camera on, this is about where you're playing from 90% of the time. Can't see anything going on the ground from there, though. Oh, it's horrifying. So normally I go double skull cannon in this matchup, but I'm actually not going to run the skull cannons here. We're going to be focusing on holding these 2 points up here and making it really tough for any Empire units to actually grind into us by just using Scylla and the Herald to run around and Rampage and Tormentor Sword things into combats against us. Should be fairly doable. I mean, it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to force, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. And these two guys together can kill the Empire Commander on the Steam Tank, who can actually cause some problems for you. I just need to keep an eye on this Fleshhound out here. Horngors are going to go up and grab the caps really quickly. And the Furies are going to help keep Empire grenade launchers off of them. And the Fleshhounds are going to do something similar too. A lot of Blood Beasts, Minotaurs, Khorngors, some Throwing Axes, more Furies, a couple Warhounds. Our armies are fairly evenly matched in terms of numbers. He's got one extra unit in the opener, and one less in reserve. It's really the only difference. I would guess that he's going to be bringing, like, demogryphs and whatnot out. That's, like, usually how Empire players run this, run these builds. So they bring war wagons and try and shoot you off the map. So we just need to not let that happen. Easier said than done, obviously, but I think we can manage it. Alright, Dace said he was ready. Whoa. was he memeing? Okay, he is ready. Yeah, he's just got a million war wagons, and he's got Boris. We're just gonna have these guys hide in the trees. There's no point in, like, throwing them forward to let them get shot. We've got shielded infantry and spears. State troopers just get destroyed in this matchup. They lose so hard to Chaos Warriors and even just Marauders. So, I mean, we're literally just going to have our infantry positioned up to make sure that we can hold these points. Have these guys chilling here. One Marauder's gonna go. We're gonna get one Marauder up here. These guys are actually gonna go hold in this tree line. Because you don't want to let anybody get up in there. Not for free at the very least. We're gonna get a Minotaur out to go protect our guys and hide in the forest. And look, I mean, this is pretty nice, like the Engineer and the War Wagons. They can get some good value here for sure, but he's gonna have to respect the Furies. Furies can 100% kill War Wagons. It's a nice little net. That's fine. It's holding his attention, though. I'm just gonna run these guys away. It's a pretty low value net, to be quite honest. Like, we just need to not let him, like, value farm us too hard. So we're getting our shields up on the point now. Silver bullets are nice. Mercurial shot, just destroying this Marauder unit, which is really brutal. How do you outcap me? What the hell is that? Oh, we might be in trouble if he's gonna just be able to outcap me for free like this. See what we can do. He's bringing up grenade launchers. He's got the right, he's got all the right units on the field now. Let's kind of sneak some stuff around the back. Let's see what we can do. Let's try and get up in his face a little bit. Let's have these hounds draw his attention. He wants to net the hounds. He's trying to chase this light wizard to get them. You see the silver bullets are trying to occupy the attention as well. He gets the net there. Let's turn around and get the silver bullets now, because they're turning their attention in to try and shoot those houndos. I think we can kind of sneak in there and get some good damage. Let's push through. Sila is actually killing the hell out of that character. Let's get away. Let's get over the top. Land in here. Attack here. Okay, this is actually starting to look really nice for me. Yeah, and Sila's forcing an engagement out of his lord, which is pretty awesome. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, get him, boys. I got all the buffs going off here. And we should be able to just kill these demigryphs. Let's get another Korngor out. Alright, the Furies are crumbling out though, which is not ideal, but let's drop another buff here. Let's go back here. More hounds. Okay, we've got a lot of his units caught here. I don't know how the halberdiers ended up out-trading my guys there.
One of your units has been destroyed.
Let's get these flesh hounds to attack here. He got a net off. Corngor's going okay, and we're winning this fight here. We've got some marauders in the back line hanging on. Did get a rout on me. Yeah, the Minotaur's getting run back is kind of unfortunate. Let's get the Herald away. Just pop this here for a little bit of a nice engagement for me. Those bull wagons just bulldozing over my poor warriors. Let's get the Corngors out of here. Those Corngors are cooked. There's really not anything I can do to help them. We're gonna get some blood beasts up. We do need to try and get the warriors up on the points. Why are these guys not running anymore? What are you doing here? Let's turn them around. We might just kill his engineer here. Let's just fight and attack and do whatever damage we can get done here. It's on some of these hounds. Should I summon, or should I summon in another one is the question. Whoops. Coming in. Does he have another? He does not have another mercurial shot or anything. If we just keep our herald in the trees, he should be fine. Got all these marauders here doing a good job of stopping my opponent from doing a whole lot of anything. We're just chewing on the light wizard a little bit. And we'll get another blood beast up in a moment. Maybe we need a fury though. No, we'll get the blood beast. So we've got one fury here, which should be enough. He's doing a good job of pressuring me though. Got some pretty good damage going down. Let's get the blood beasts over. We've got the triple cap, so we'll see what we can do to kind of hold that. I'm gonna pop this Relentless Rage here. It's actually gonna go a long way in terms of value. Get another Fury. Go here. Blood Beasts are moving up. They're gonna be a really nice hammer for me. Probably gonna just drop the buff on those guys when the time comes. Here we go. The extra melee attack on these guys, getting up to 72, they just destroy Empire Knights. A lot like how Rat Ogres kind of dominate heavy cavalry, Blood Beasts are even better at it. They're just absolutely mega clutch in that respect. So we get a breakthrough with one Blood Beast here. The other Blood Beasts are about to get routed, though, which is not great. And they really haven't done too much. Let's get the War Wagons, since they have to engage me here. I think we should actually be able to drag down his Demigryphs. War Wagons are on the way down. We've got some Hounds. We're going to get another Flesh Hound up. He's got more Empire Knights coming in. Gonna need to save up for the Blood Beasts. We're gonna unsummon all these guys. And we're gonna leave our Lord back. We need to play very sparingly with him. we might actually want to bring up infantry instead. Just a bunch of basic marauders whenever we can get them. Corngore from the deep set spawn is definitely going to be a good call. Let's get these flesh hounds away. We don't need to value trade. We need to hold. Just with whatever we can get our hands on. You see, he's actually catching up now. If we can just keep him from taking this #1 objective quickly, then we should be alright. Because he doesn't have anything threatening the number 3 and 2. A lot of cap weight, quite a bit of infantry. He's still got some units coming around and out, but we're getting Corngores up. They're gonna hold points. These guys are gonna fight over the river here. They should be able to delay for a little while. I mean, he's got to move his gun units up onto this point. And the Corngores, like, they can get hit pretty hard, but they should be, like, reasonably capable of doing something here. We're just going to pop these now. Please just don't rout Corn. Oh my god, they insta-routed. Of course they did. Pretty awkward, guys. Oh my goodness. Cafeteria had roast beef. That sounds pretty horrible. I hope you're okay, man. I think I'd be on my last legs after something like that for lunch. Okay, honestly, a huge win for round 3. Let's see if we're able to actually sneak into the top 4, though. Over the Empire. Alright, we're going to do it one game at a time. We're going to drag up Khorne's win rate. It's been pretty bad this season. I haven't been playing him a lot, to be fair, though. Playing a lot of Warriors of Chaos, who I've been struggling with really hard. Yeah, I don't think we're making top 4 here. Well, we're not making top 4 probably. I'm gonna do a couple of games from the new player tournament to round this one out. Yeah, thank you, dude. It was a pretty good game. I mean, Empire is really tough to beat with Khorne. That map was a little bit favorable for us though, and we disrupted his shooting enough to just grind out the last few objective tickets that we needed there. Yeah, Minos were fine. Blood Beast here got beat up a little bit, but the other one up-traded a little bit. Hounds were a little unimpactful, but the Corngores were also fairly okay. And the Chaos Warriors held really well, so it was pretty good all the way around. Siley got beat up by Boris pretty bad, but he also distracted Boris at a pretty critical moment in the game early on as we got our surround off on his army. We were able to collapse on a lot of his units. Took down a war wagon pretty hard. Shut down the silver bullets. Killed a lot of his spearmen and his halberds in the melee grind. You know, the problem for the Empire is they just lose so hard in the melee fights, man. As long as you can avoid getting outcapped by them early and often, usually fairly simple matter of just playing the objectives for the win. This Glade Guard line from both people here. A double or triple Melkoth's casters for Smoky Loco, though. I don't know if I want to watch that, to be honest. We watched this the other day. I think we watched that one. We watched a lot of these replays, actually. I really don't know how many there are here to cover. Here's some from a couple of guys that I didn't get to spectate. So let's do this Tzeentch Dark Elves game. So we've watched a decent amount of Tzeentch as of late. Mr. Fly has been playing in a lot of these tournaments. And he brings A-Cold all the time, too. So I'm guessing Regis here kind of got the idea from that. A-Cold's a really good foot character, obviously. And perfect vigor, passive heal. Makes for a pretty good like line holder on one of the objectives. So as long as he's able to sit on a point and get some engagements, he's usually going to be able to get his cost back, or at the very least make your opponent play cautiously around the objectives. It can be a little expensive, and sometimes it's very easy to just ignore him, especially on maps like this where the objectives are just like spread out in a straight line across the middle of the map. I call it a split pushing map, because you can push all 3 points whenever you want to. But you're making up for the cost of him with the Herald of Tzeentch here. He's got the metal magic, he's using Chromatic Tome for a little bit of extra reserves, and also just getting the power recharge up. He's actually doing a lot of damage to this Feral Mana Core. A couple of the shots from the disc here actually taken about 400 HP off of the Feral Mana Core. It's actually really close to hitting its Feral Rage threshold, because it procs at 75 and then 25%, so I do like the pressure being put down here. Herald's going to look for Searing Doom and Final Transmutation, both of which are very effective against Dark Elves, because Dark Elves bring very expensive characters, and they can also bring, you know, like there's Double Master here. That's very cost effective for Final Transmutation, which just destroys blobbed up characters. And then Searing Doom for Cold One Knights. Advancing a little too far forward. I mean, this is a thick line of spears and bleak swords, so not really the best engagement in the world for Tzeentch. Advancing a little bit too congested as well. I wouldn't really waste my ammo on the War Hydra. So here's the thing about Hydras, is that you can shoot them a bunch, but another takes its place is a 12% heal, and these just start proccing whenever it hits 50%. Your blue horrors really don't have that much ammo. The Chromatic Abominations can sit on the Hydra, but these other two blues should probably be shooting the Dark Shards. Even when Dark Shards have the Silver Shield facing you, and they're nullifying all that damage just by bouncing your shots off the front of the shield, you're still going to get about 50% of the damage through, and, you know, 45% thereabouts. Blue Horrors have a pretty good amount of damage output, especially against light armor, so Dark Shards at their low HP pool would actually be suffering pretty badly here if you just had them both firing in. Although the good flank of the Zangors up through the trees, actually really well done by Regis. It's a very nice dive here, because it pushes the Dark Shards off, and they obviously cannot fire on the move. So they're as good as dead, functionally. When shooting units have to reposition like that, you've got everything that you need in order to get the grind going through Chaos Warriors, who will very easily beat some Dread Spears and Bleak Swords. Zangor is also, one of them peels off and just gets right into the back of that front line fight, and that's going to make for a very short engagement. War Hydra does run off some of the Chaos Warriors with the Terror Routes, but it's taking a lot of damage. Another takes its place has been procced already, and it's on its cooldown. So that regeneration is just making this thing weaker to the fire damage of the blue horrors, and actually able to kill it really fast, those blues. I'm gonna eat my words a little bit here. Regis, with the focus fire on the War Hydra, actually runs it back in record time. And using the Herald to dive the Dark Shards is really not that bad of a call here. Need to get away up into the air so the Cold One Knights can't surround this guy. Gonna drop a beautiful Searing Doom on the head of the Dark Shards, though, and that's gonna do some pretty nasty damage. Immediately taking half the HP off that unit, and now that the Bleak Swords and some of these Harpies and other units are running, it should make for a fairly easy time as Tzeentch just pushes their quicker infantry and, you know, more numerous infantry now up into the backline to shut down the remaining Dark Shards that the Dark Elves have. And the Dark Rider pressure into the backline has been dealt with. It's a little too aggressive to get back here into your opponent's deployment zones and try and run down their skirmish cav like that. Regis did a really good job of just microing back the Javelin Horsemen. He drags the Mana Core to its doom. The two Dark Riders rather go down, and now we've got some reinforcing Forsaken coming up. And I believe the Severed Claw around here somewhere. Yeah, here's the Severed Claw. Aspiring Champions ROR with their halberds taking on the Master. They've got not great melee attack for a foot character like this, but they do at least have the AP to chip through his armor a little bit. I'd like to see him get after the War Hydra with these guys, rather. But they're doing fine where they are, especially since Regis is grabbing this number 3 objective again with the Zangors. There's really nothing to threaten down here either. Blackheart Corsair coming in for the Dark Elves to reinforce. Not a bad unit. They can definitely throw down some good volley fire onto the Forsaken and the Blue Horrors who don't have shields. But Zangors will massively outtrade the Black Arcs here. Because these guys, they don't have great armor. 80 is pretty respectable. But if they get engaged against a unit like Zangors with their good weapon strength and decent melee attack and much higher HP pool, you know, the Corsairs are just not going to hang in well enough to be able to re-contest these points in any reasonable amount of time. You can see the values are fairly even. And with all the healing on the War Hydra, which is getting close to its cap, Dark Elves might even be slightly ahead in terms of just the pure trade perspective, although you do have to factor in the shields. I always forget that the little Protoss shields and the Tzeentch units count as value when you're knocking them off. You've had a fair amount of regeneration, especially on the Zangors, as they've been running around and forcing all the shooting to reposition. I've had a pretty easy time of regenerating the barriers, so that's probably another like 300 or 400 for the Dark Elves. So, I mean, just a straight even fight now, but the punching power that the Tzeentch forces have out on the field is just higher quality. Chromatic Abominations have paid for themselves. They've obviously got a lot of ammo left to use. And it should be able to help shut down some of the Black Arc Corsair pressure. A lot of Searing Dooms being missed here by the Herald. You know, just be a little bit more patient, Regis, if you ever get around to watching this, man. Just be a little more patient with your magic casts. Searing Doom is best used on units that are already engaged in combat, so like this blob of Black Arc Corsairs and Bleak Swords here, fighting your Zangors would be a much better spot to drop that spell. Centigors and Acold and the Herald actually running away, and instead it's going to be the Centigors and the Chromatic Abominations trying to drag the last 3,000 HP off this War Hydra. It's only got 400 value. 4,000 value on the War Hydra would be pretty crazy, but it's looking pretty rough for that beastie. It's really not doing too hot. Zangor's out here. Be a little careful about chasing deep. You know, you punish your opponent for it, now he's kind of doing the same to you. You're in a better position because you have just superior infantry available to hold your points, but last thing you want to do is be deep diving your Zangors back to where they get intercepted by cavalry, who can hammer their low armor with some cycle charging. Black Ark Corsairs with their bows are just out on the flank getting beautiful shots off, and you can see they get some pretty tremendous value just by blasting that Zangor with the help of the Dark Riders. Fury's coming in, they're going to get rid of the Cold One Knights, just charging those guys down. Then they can get rid of the double Dark Shard here. A-Cold is engaging the Black Ark Corsairs over here. He's doing a great job. He doesn't have that much value, only about 400, but nonetheless, you know, he's full health. He's having a whale of a time. He can just keep dragging down bodies on all of these Dark Elf infantry units. It should be a matter of time for Tzeentch to just grind out the win with the triple cap. So they're doing a pretty good job of hanging on to all three objectives. There's a little bit of contention on the number 3 now, but there's a fresh Zangor to get after the Dread Spears that are pushing that point. Black Ark Corsairs have used about half their ammo over here, and the other one is almost completely out. It's got 2 volleys left. And the Herald's actually bullying the Supreme Sorceress. She's trying to run away. You can see her trotting away on her, you know, fell steed here. Skirting right past the Zangors and managing to get away. It's a huge save on the Dark Elf Lord, because if you lose her, your leadership, it just goes in the pits, and you don't really have any elite stuff to grab objectives and survive while you're waiting to resummon her. So good on Aguare Miro to just keep her in the fight. Find a way to get her back into the safety of her own deployment zone. Fury's over pursued to the edge of the map. They really need to come back and get after the Dark Shards, like I said. They've been hovering back there for a little while now. We saw an army ability whiffing here. It's possible this is a bugged replay. The end result should be reflective, though, of who actually ended up winning the game. It can just look a little bit weird in the process of it. No idea what's going on there. Seemingly missing Searing Doom, Severed Claw running around. Tier 2 army ability from Tzeentch hitting the Supreme Sorceress. Almost kills her. Zangor's running her down too. Trying to engage and get the last little bit of HP off of her. And A-Cold occupying more and more infantry. A Bleak Sword gets stuck on him. The Black Ark Corsairs have a little bit of a hard time pushing past him. Some more Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch and some Zangors holding over here. Don't really need to fight over the number 1 objective, but, you know, trying to keep as many Dark Elf units tied up on this point by just playing around it and just body blocking as they try to move up on your number 2 objective is a good call. And Severed Claw on the back line. Honestly, if you're going to send a unit to the back line to just annoy your opponent's deployment zone, Severed Claw not really the worst thing to use in the world. I mean, you can't really run them down with cavalry, obviously, because they'll just turn that bonus versus large of 30 around and start smacking everything up. Zangors have basically dealt with the Dread Spears. Definitely want a reinforcing unit on the number 3 here, though, for Tzeentch. Feral Manticore gets shot to death by the Javelins again. Really nice Javelin play this game. They've gotten a lot of value, not just by shooting things, but also by forcing some really inoptimal dives out of the Dark Elf units. You got a million guys occupied on A-Cold right now. I do think that there's a few things going on here that are kind of tipping me off to this potentially being a bugged replay. But usually, yeah, that was kind of weird. Regis should have actually won that game, though. Didn't say that it's, doesn't have it marked as old or outdated. That's usually how you can tell. Very, very weird. The early game should have been about the same as it was in the actual match, though. And Regis did a really good job of overwhelming the flanks with the Zangor push. Shooting down the War Hydra. Even after all of that, the Dark Elves being fairly close in value, Tzeentch with their shields and everything, holding through all of their resulting reinforcing pressure with the the Hambo Corsairs, the Black Ark Corsairs. I don't really see the Dark Elves finding a great position to push back from and winning that game. So I'm fairly certain Regis was able to take that one just about as we saw there. If not just because there's some weirdness going on with the magic casting. Let's see if some Healths versus Welfs is looking a little bit better. You know, High Elves have a pretty good matchup into the Wood Elves. Usually Wood Elves are out shooting most other ranged factions, but High Elves are just a little bit more durable than most others in terms of leadership, which can make all the difference. And you've also got Lothern Seaguard, who, with their shields, I tend to find a brutally efficient unit into the Wood Elves, because they block a bunch of the damage, and Wood Elves don't have any shielded bow units. So you just, like, drop a couple Earthbloods on your Lothern Seaguard line, shoot down all the Glade Guard, or even better, Way Watchers or Deepwood Scouts, and then you just try and survive Dryads. Dryads are pretty tough to kill until you can get out Silverhelms, or maybe run up some... Probably Ship's Company are your best bet against these guys, just from a cost efficiency perspective. But really, it's the Shock Cavalry. Once you get the Shock Cavalry out and you've dealt with your opponent's archers, High Elves just dominate this matchup, typically. Glade Riders going for the number 3. Illyrian Reaver Archers also going for the number 3. This is one of the few times Illyrian Reaver Archers don't have a massive advantage over their opponent's Horse Archers. Usually the High Elves are a little more accurate, but the Wood Elves have a longer ranged bow on their bow cap. They're the longest ranged one in the game, and you might not think 10 extra meters makes a huge difference. But it does actually increase the accuracy by a fair margin over their counterparts, typically, because they can stay slightly out of range, get their shots off first. Those shots are a little bit more accurate on average, and then they can just pull away and you know, run circles around you. Especially if it's the Hagbane tips. I'm a little surprised to not see the Poison Bow Cav here. We got one of them coming in now, though. So it looks like that was the first priority summon for Muffin. Which is nice. He's holding on to the number 3 pretty well. Illyrian Reaver Archers have shot one of the Glade Riders a little bit low, but the numbers are really not looking too great for the High Elves on that value trade. Off on the side objective over here. And the Glade Guard are opening up on the Shadow Warriors now. I don't really like Shadow Warriors, guys. I think they're just a vastly inferior Shadow Walker. The Shadow Walkers are just a straight upgrade, and they're not that much more expensive than the Shadow Warriors are. I'd just spend the 200 extra gold to get the Walkers, because the Walkers are poisoned arrows and in melee, and they just actually kill stuff if they have to fight anything, because they have a bonus versus infantry that actually makes them pretty tough to kill in melee combat, and they have pretty good damage output, so they would definitely be more than a match for the Eternal Guard at the very least. Shadow Warriors are pulling back a little bit. You got a lot of Spearmen moving forward. High Elf Spearmen will hold against the Eternal Guard of the Wood Elves, but Treekin and Race of the Frozen Heart, the ROR Dryad, are getting engaged on the other spear up here for the High Elves. And that's going to be a very, very quick fight in the favor of the Wood Elves. They should push right through this unit and be able to start threatening the back point for the High Elves. You've also had the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower for the High Elves get shut down here. Glade Riders just run right around the flank, and they just take the crew out in a matter of seconds. You know, Glade Riders you don't see too terribly often, because you mostly see Wild Riders, but they're really not that bad. They got a fairly decent stat line, a great charge bonus, so just for hunting some artillery pieces, I do like to see that. And they've done fairly nicely at giving Muffin a pretty advantaged state here. He removed the bolt throwers, which is the biggest threat to the Treekin. Treekin are getting routed, though. They've taken quite a bit of punishment from the Shadow Warriors, I guess, and the Illyrian Reaver archers are chipping away, too. Spearmen running. I guess Tyrion's probably the one actually doing the majority of the damage to them. He does have fire damage and magic attacks, so he's getting around that Fizz Res. And then there's also the baked-in 25% weakness to fire for the Treekin, so he's having a whale of a time just beating up on him. It's not really great value for him, though. What else here? Using Wild Riders and Eternal Guard to kill the Spearmen holding the number 3. Silver Helms. You know, a couple of them on the field, but they're chasing the bow cavalry of the Wood Elves here, and they're getting really deep set into the Wood Elves' spawn points. So some Zotes pop out, and they just get right on the back of this one healthy Silver Helm. The other one's probably going to get shot to death before he makes any real contact with anything of importance. They could get onto this Glade Guard here and get some good damage. Probably not going to kill the unit, though. And the Zotes are in pretty close pursuit against the other Silverhelm. They do pull away from the Zotes. They're much faster, but it's eventually they're just going to run out of real estate to continue this hit-and-run style of play. Muffin's getting a little bit of an edge here. That value has slipped back a little bit against him, but Wild Riders are going to find a great engagement against the Shadow Warriors, and he's just running all of these guys down. It's 2 800 gold units getting absolutely annihilated by the 1100, or this is actually 1,000 gold Wild Rider, because this is the unshielded variant. So great up trade for Muffin on this flank, and he's got another Glade Rider moving over to help make that fight an even more lopsided win. Eternal Guard with their shields, holding on the number 3, fairly healthy. You can just kind of ignore that point now. Zotes clean up the Silver Helms here. The other Silver Helm gets good damage on the Glade Guard, but doesn't finish them. One last Silver Helm has gotten out onto the field in pretty good time. These Zotes, though, are just going to be way too much to handle. I actually really like the inclusion of these guys, you know? I mean, they're like the Wood Elf Dragon Ogre variant in a lot of ways. They're a little bit less offensively oriented, but the utility that they get out of Earthblood in 3 Flesh to Stones is really nice. So as long as Muffin is able to actually utilize those abilities and keep his units nice and healthy, and also make it a little bit harder to actually work down the low armor values on the Wild Riders and Glade Riders, it shouldn't be too tough to just hold ground. You know, he's lost the number 1 that he was pushing. The High Elves retake their home objective, but the number 3 and the number 2 are fairly well held. You know, there's still some bow cavalry here for the Wood Elves. The Winterheart Guard are coming forward, unbreakable. Spearmen with AP are going to be pretty wickedly tough to remove, considering the lack of shooting for the High Elves now. There's another thing in the Wood Elves' favor. They just have slightly better melee units on the field, with the ability to whittle down their opponent's counterparts. And only just now are Lothern Sea Guard coming up. You know, these are both shielded infantry, but I feel like starting out with a couple of them would have been better than bringing those spearmen. The spearmen really didn't do a whole lot. I'm just not a huge fan of them. I would rather have the Lotherns for 250 more. And also have, you know, a bow unit on the field with good range and defensive capabilities against a faction that wants to be aggressive with their cavalry units. It just shuts down a lot of space. It gives you a much easier time defending the edges of your objectives, and kind of like weaseling your opponent out of position by forcing them to overextend infantry farther and farther into the backline, where they become easier and easier to clean up with your own mobile units. You can see how quickly they shoot down Dryads, too. I mean, a couple of good volleys from the Lothern Sea Guard, really putting a lot of pressure down on this otherwise incredibly powerful and resilient infantry clear tool. You know, for 550, Dryads with 60 armor, 20% Phys Res, ITP, Fear Causing, good weapon strength. Like I said, they're usually a headache for the High Elves. But with just some decent positioning out of these bow units, they very quickly chip them down. Although they are getting dogpiled on by the Zoats and the Glade Riders, and now a Wild Rider too. Completely surrounding this unit, and the shock damage, they'd be able to weather it pretty nicely. It's a really good call by Muffin to just bounce off these guys and get into the other Lothern Sea Guard, who's going down pretty quickly on the other side here now that they're getting piled into from behind by all these big scary monsters and melee cav. You know, the Oak of Ages needs some mulch, and the Wood Elves are doing their best here to make some available. Zoats are getting attacked by the Fireborn now. There is a Silver Helm on the back of those guys. Wood Elves definitely overextending a little bit. Just by pushing that aggressively for both Lothern Seaguard, does end up losing the Zoats finally. And they were doing pretty good, but you can see how quickly they just fall apart once they run into something with the right stats. An anti-large bonus. Bye-bye. That's almost 2,000 gold unit. How much are they? I can't remember off the top of my head. They're like 1,600, I think. Pretty painful to lose them, and you didn't use any of their magic either. Just drop those Earthbloods and Flesh to Stones. I mean, they're free. There's no reason not to just use them, even if they don't hit the right target at the perfect time, you know. I've had that problem before in the past. It's almost always better to just take what little value you can get out of bound abilities, even if it's not going to be like this overwhelmingly powerful and cost-effective, like, crucial battle-deciding play, you know? Incremental advantages are just as good as getting the perfect and decisive engagement that most people are looking for when they're playing this game. It all adds up eventually, and you know, you're playing pretty long matches in domination mode. Over the course of time, with just a few good uses on those bound abilities, it's going to get you into the winning position that you need for pretty much anybody. Tunnel Guard are getting ground down on the number 3, and Dryads are moving up. I don't know if they're going to get there to save that point, though. You can see how quickly the double Illyrian Reaver are capping this. You know, they didn't do very well the first time around. One of them got okay value, but they're doing a great job of capping this point up, and they should be able to shoot the Dryads up a little bit before they pull off the point. And if they really want to, they can just kind of loop around the outsides and drop in behind the Dryads and then just run away whenever some units come out that are a little quicker that you really need to stay apace of. Treekin are hanging in and pummeling the Fireborn and the Silverhelms here. Silverhelms and the Fireborn are actually having a hard time pushing through. This happens a lot. You gotta be very careful in the middle of these really hotly contested late game situations to not lose track of enemy mass, because not doing any damage trying to push past these guys, and the Silverhelms and Fireborn have taken a lot of damage as they're getting shot up by the Deepwood Scouts here. And these are the ones with the Swift Shiver Shards, so they hit extra hard. They've got the 2 missiles that they fire. They've got decent AP values, but just with the weight of fire and the number of models that they have, even though they're shooting into pretty heavily armored stuff with the Silverhelms, in particular the Fireborn with their base 120 armor, they're still slowly chipping these guys down and doing a pretty good job of grinding up some value. You know, they cost 875, and these ones have 1,000 already. The decent number of volleys left. They've got 6 volleys available to them. Wild Riders attacking the Illyrian River Archers here. Glade Riders doing their best to draw that aggro in for a good dive from the Wood Elves. Dryads get absolutely run over by double melee Illyrian Reaver, and now another Silverhelm up. Is it triple cap territory? I think it's just outside the range for Dirk here to be sitting on the double cap, so he does really need to grab the number 2, and that's going to be almost an impossibility. His pressure onto the back point has petered out pretty badly with the fact that his cavalry just got, you know, flattened by the Treekin and the Deepwood Scouts here. Now there's an Eternal Guard to push the few Lotherns that are remaining out over here. The Lotherns got great value. Look at that, 700 on one of them. A lot of ammo left on it as well, and the other with close to 900 now. And the few volleys left. Good performance out of those guys. Illyrian Reavers in a fight for their lives here. The Glade Riders actually breaking. And the Wild Riders trying to get in here. And the Deepwood Scouts, not a melee unit in the least. So all 3 of these High Elf Cavalry units running them down very effectively here. Glade Riders getting into the back of the cavalry. Another Glade Rider coming in as well from the other side. So you get a nice little elf sandwich. Very effective trade for the Wood Elves. They should be able to recontest the number 3 before the before the High Elves can get their reinforcements in. High Elves do have some Spearmen coming up. They've got another Silverhelm coming out, but both of these Illyrian Reavers looking the worse for wear. Definitely not going to hang in much longer. Silverhelms do bounce out of the fight and get on top of the number 2, but are the High Elves going to get enough on here? Moving forward, the Lothern Sea Guard trying to help flip the cap weight. Deepwood Scouts, though, re-secure. They took a lot of damage, but they still got 53 models. Oh, and double Glade Guard rocking out now. Really, you just hard commit all your cavalry onto this point and trying to keep all of these High Elf units back and off of the objective. Hope that your Glade Guard can shoot these guys down before they can grab the point. And they do, the Wood Elves do flip the cap weight back in their favor, holding on to it just barely. The Silverhelms are trying to force path through. The Lothern Sea Guard's starting to get shot up pretty bad. Swift Shiver Shards are looking to hit the Silverhelms from the flank. And, oh no, that's really painful. Right off of the point here, as you can see. The Spearmen get intercepted by the tattered Eternal Guard. That's actually kind of a game-winning play there for Muffin. You know, I mean, for how well the game opened up for the Wood Elves, the High Elves and Dirk have done a great job of grinding this one back. Oh, he's running his Spearmen off in the middle objective, though, and he's leaving the Wood Elf Cavalry to start flipping that objective. He is flipping the number 2. If he gets the triple cap, and if he's able to hold it for a little while, it's not going to take much for him to win this game, and he does actually grab the number 2. And the Wood Elves are missing out on an opportunity here to win this game by virtue of that late flip. But are they going to grab the middle in the process? They need to hold that for 30 seconds. I don't know if they're even going to be able to keep the High Elves from getting back on this point. Yeah, the good call by Muffin to use that beat-up Wild Rider to just push the Spearmen away from the objective. And they do actually flip it. Halves need to break all of these units in record time, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. And it's still just barely within the margin of error for Muffin to take this game. It's going to end off with the High Elves ending out at, like, what, 1450? Thereabouts? And the Wood Elves with the 1500 that they're looking for. Great game from both these players, man. Oh my god. It's the closest game that I saw all tournament. Like, the semis and the finals actually went by pretty quickly in the favor of the tournament winner. He just kind of walked over the 2 good matchups that he got. And this one here ended up being a barn burner. Oh man, you hate to be in games like this where you get that late flip, but then just one tiny little mistake with the positioning on those spearmen loses you the game. Muffin did a great job of recognizing that opportunity to steal the cap back and using a sacrificial lamb unit to just keep the infantry from contributing cap weight here. If that spearman stays on that point, I don't think the Wood Elves are able to recap that middle and, you know, clutch it out there. Deepwood Scouts of almost 1,500 apiece, which is wild. Goes to tell you how good of a unit those guys are. I mean, they just use all their ammo, and it's almost impossible to survive through the volleys. Even if you have, like, decent shields and armor, man, they just pour it on. Fireborn 2100, pretty effective. The Silver Helms, you know, once you had a bunch of them out on the field, the Hiles are doing much better than in the early game, where they were really struggling to establish any mobile presence. The Shadow Warriors and that Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower loss early were really the albatross that lost Dirk this one. You gotta defend your artillery, man, especially on maps that have those big forest flanks. You just need to expect something from your opponent. Like, they're not gonna allow you to just grind all game with bolt throwers. These crews are really squishy. All they need is like a couple of seconds, like we saw, with one cav unit to get the win. So just keep a spearman back there. I think if you keep the bolt thrower alive, keep your spearmen on the point, and optimize away from the Shadow Warriors and just getting some Lothern Sea Guard, you have a much easier go of it here. And I don't know about Death Magic against Wood Elves. It's okay, the Spirit Leech especially, but maybe you would prefer Aspect of the Dread Knight for some magic damage into a faction that has, you know, not so much armor and relies on phys res. You know, magic damage just completely nullifies physical resistance in all of its various forms. Whether it's 20% or 60%, magic damage gets rid of it all. And I don't believe I saw any casts of it. Let me actually double check that before we go. Nah, he had Fate of Buna. I mean, Buna's okay against Cav, but with the cost efficiency on the Silver Helms and the high armor, you can outtrade Wild Riders with some good charges. I don't think you need to focus on the Fate of Buna casting. I think you can just use Aspect of the Dread Knight, and maybe even Soul Blight. Soul Blight can ease your engagements against the Dryads by lowering their weapon strength and armor, both of which are, you know, not like the most incredible thing in the world, but are still, regardless, the main selling points of the Dryads for their price point. Because the actual melee attack on Dryads is fairly low. It's a little bit like Saurus. Saurus don't have, like, great melee attack and melee defense, but their weapon strength is high enough that it makes up for the inefficiency in terms of the hit rates by just, you know, unloading on their opponent when they do actually make contact. And anytime you can lower that and lower one of the elements of their resistances that makes them so irritating to handle, great leg up. And obviously you can just spell spam when you have WOM reserve stuff like Starwood Staff, Book of Hoeth to get the recharge rate going. Just something to keep in mind, Dirk. I believe in you, though, man. You'll get them next time. What's up, Bird? It went pretty well, dude. 3-1. I lost a pretty messy first game. That was really it. Adler just had a much cleaner Nurgle build into my Warriors of Chaos. I'm still figuring out Warriors of Chaos. It's been so tough to get their measure. You know, I don't want to have to bring, like, maxed out Hellstriders every game, but it does seem to be the best strategy. So they're just so efficient. And then figuring out which monsters to bring when, right? I brought a Chimera into Nurgle, and Adler, after the game, was saying, don't do that. And I can see why, because Kasich just, like, hard carried against it. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it here, guys. I've got some other stuff I need to do today. So, just a nice little 3-hour stream. I hope y'all have enjoyed, had a blast. We'll see when I can find some time for another one. So, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys.